Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. It is the 8th of April, Wednesday. Not a whole lot of news. Still just kind of, I don't know. We're working it out in the markets. Let's go look at what they've been doing. Oh, that's not the screen I wanted. Charts. Well, you can see we had a little bit of a pullback yesterday. Pretty decently down, actually. Overnight, a few attempts to try and get higher, but failing at the moment. There's a little bit of volume that occurred at 26.18. Possible to visit. We're kind of stuck between 2 points of control, so I don't know. I bet we probably take one out, but we'll see what happens. 10-year. 10-year also down quite a bit. So we kind of got some interesting things going on here. Really, you got to start to look at the treasury on like the really long timeline, right? Oh, well, we're up there, right? Usually when you get this, you'll see like tons of really big bars and it'll be all crazy, but usually it peters out. Like maybe there'll be another spike. I don't know. We'll see. But usually that kind of tames down. Let's see here. What else we got on the... Did we see... Oh, oil took a dive yesterday too. Dun, 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 dun. This is like all the assets are down. What about the spreads? What do we got going on in spreads? Just kind of sideways there on that one. Oh, the 2 and 10 is getting better. Oh yeah, they're actually steepening on the shorter time frames are steepening, but the knob just doesn't look like it's moving much at all. I wonder if maybe they adjusted the knob spread though. I wonder. Anyways, we'll come back here. I don't know what else we've got to judge on. I still kind of feel like we're just we're in an active market, but there's not like really a whole lot of reason to trade. Like they're just kind of there's no news. There's no like economic news. That is. Let's check the coronavirus dashboard. We get the New York numbers yet? Not yet. Not yet. Yesterday was 5-4. I still think that by the end of the month that New York will be over 10K, but we'll see. It looks like they'll be close, and those numbers, when I was predicting it, was based off of much, what do we say? Much higher predicted total numbers, so probably my estimate will be a little bit high. Or I guess it's possible that my estimate will be a little bit high. I want to change some things in my charts here. I was just thinking. I have this on a 10-minute, but I think I really want a 5-minute on this. So I'm going to change that. There we go. That one's 5-minute, and then this one should be hour, right? Yeah, 5 and 6. Yep. And let's see what's going on in Discord. We've had some interesting discussions in Discord lately. Love this one. Gary, he's like, stop. You got to stop pressing the lose money button. I don't know if you can see that very well, but I thought that was freaking hilarious. Like, I kind of want to come in here and change the layout and so that there's a lose money button on it. Oh, I remember what it was that I wanted to do now. Hmm. How should I handle this? I think I will do it over here. I don't really use this volume so much. I guess I could keep it on there, but I want the total depth and flip. I want the total depth and flip back out. And I want this to be bigger because I literally cannot see more than that. So I think I should be in tight. Make this a volume one smaller though. And then I want to change. Well, you can't even see it. Let me move it over here so you can see it. And then I want to change the settings in my ES. I think that I want it to be like, well, how would we do this? 100. Now let's try it. Different. Auction Vista. Cumulative. Oh, depth. So I can do show and balance. Or I can just do... No, I think I'll do that, but I think I want it to be 8 levels. Same with the flip. 8 of those. Okay. Well, I'm just not seeing... Well, that's probably okay. I would like those to be bigger, but they're not really. It's just because this earlier spot was much more significant because it was regular market. So we'll try it like that. Make this one a little bigger. Cumulative delta is definitely still important. All right. That's right here. We'll reset. Well, we're developing a pretty big bar. Treasuries still look super heavy. Oh yeah, I didn't turn on the text to speech. So let's fix that. Text to speech, text to speech. Okay. So it's just giving me long here. Ooh, and that bar turned blue. No, well, it's a new bar. It's a new bar. I don't know about that one. Wait, why is it starting a new bar there? Hold the boat. Hold on a second. Oh, this should be 5. This should be 5. And this should be CME interest rate futures quant edge setup. Why is it not? $605, $630, $632. Okay. I think we got it all correct now. It's awfully quiet. UK Prime Minister Johnson remains in ICU but is responding to treatment, says Sky News. He is receiving just the standard oxygen treatment and is breathing without any other assistance.
Existent being says mornin'.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to the stream. That's a new name, so nice to have you. Interesting name. How is this gonna turn down? It's kind of suggesting it. Maybe could be wrong, but it's kind of suggesting it. It looks kind of pretty equal though overall. I'm kind of thinking now because I can only see 10 levels of level 2. I'm a little bit more interested now in what the total is. Like 300 versus 300. Okay. Like that's kind of what I'm looking at. And it's saying here, well, when you include just the first 8 levels, it's saying that the offer is a little bit stronger. And I would expect that would mean
Existent being says
we
looking
push
to
up a
get
little
into
bit.
trading futures and order flow, and I found some of your videos working ATM, so I'll have the stream on in the background if that's cool.
Oh, that's very cool. So you must live over in Europe then, huh? And which video did you run across?
Existent being says nope, FL.
Oh, Florida. Man, well, I guess it's 8:30 over there. Still, that's pretty early to work. It kind of looks like a sell now. Except they're not so interested. Yeah.
Daniel
Can see
Guillemot
it.
says good morning.
So there's definitely some imbalance there. I think they're gonna buy.
Daniel Guillemot says nighttime here in South Korea, slightly smiling face.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that you were in South Korea, Daniel. I've been trying to learn Korean. Like I've been doing the Duolingo, but I don't feel like that they teach the alphabet very well. Like I was watching other stuff and I was like, well, how am I supposed to be learning the alphabet from what they're showing me on Duolingo? That doesn't make much sense. I mean, it did give me a long there, but look, they're being really incredibly shaky about it. And I do see that on the time frame and everything else that were negative. So I think that I need a little bit more data in order to make a decision. Also, it's net buying so far. Well, that's interesting because the cumulative delta shows down, so I don't know how I get that. Hmm. too late, but I think that we could take it from like 70. Definitely the volume came in short to equalize it there. Oh, I don't want to chase. I don't want to chase. No, sir. Look at that. It's definitely some price discovery going on here. He's just running away from me. I could definitely see more downside coming in though. Yeah, see that? Yeah, pushing hard. Treasury is pushing down? Well, I mean, it was there before, but I mean, look at this absorption at 23. That would normally be a level break setup for me, but the context is uh, not favorable to it. Like it's a 50-50 and your risk reward, I don't know if it's super great because if this one fails, they could so easily come back up to 26, you know? That's where we were when I opened this up at least. I want to keep a close eye on here at this 72 level. If they just so happen. Oh, I wonder if I can do it like have this power meter on. Let's see here. Power meters. Depth power meter. Oh. Well, let's just add all of them. Because why the heck not? But look, there's where is it coming from? Probably from this 70? And the sellers are absorbing there too. Well, let's see what happens. I'm a little skeptical that just like straight up holds. I think they're going to want to come up at it. And if they could get to 72, then they could push really hard up. So it's not so clear yet. Yeah, okay. The sellers are absorbing a lot. Still a little shaky. Okay. Yeah, there's still that 70 area. Well, I like that power meter there, but it jumps a bit too much, don't you think? It jumps a bit too much. And like the treasuries did come back, so that was a good call. I'm wondering
Rosa
if they'll
Flores
push to
says good
25.
morning.
Hey, well, Rosa, that's a new name too. We're getting lots of new people lately this week, so welcome, guys. Market is kind of, I don't know. I mean, I find it really interesting right now, but it's probably just noise. It's probably just noise. There's this big order at 2670. It's not. I mean, it's only 200 lots, so it's not like it's like the end of the world or anything. But I think you could kind of, yeah. There you go. So now we gotta, actually, if I can get it there. Damn it. Okay. Well, that did what I wanted it to do. I wasn't able to. It was like when they were going, it was a little too fast, and I wasn't able to work it out. I mean, I had that one. I thought it was going to be like a limit entry, and it didn't. It ended up being a stop entry, and I canceled it, and didn't work. I think that 74 is what I would have wanted to get out of it too. So okay. Now are they going to go for the high here? Like not the overnight, the 2677.25. Then there's the high. Hmm. Oh, they're absorbing along too. Look at that. Up a little bit of a turn. Let's see here at 76. I don't think it quite makes sense. Not anymore. It was like 2669 was where I wanted to get it. I can't believe it came through it so quickly. That one was interesting. Hmm. Okay, 75. Okay. Oh, I didn't catch that Donald Trump tweeted, "We'll be immediately sending 100 ventilators to Colorado at the request of
IDK
Senator
says which are the
Gardner."
ways to get into a prop firm?
Well, I've never done that before, so I wouldn't really be the right one to ask IDK. Um, they're not really very common anymore. Like the only two that I know of is Axia, and I'm sure somebody else will step in with the name of them, but there is one here in the United States. But they're not really like the same game as it was before. Like this thing where like you could come in and they would pay you a salary and you would learn to trade and you would trade the firm's money and all of that doesn't I don't think it really exists anymore. I think that the replacement is going to just be groups of retail traders. So I think the way that this is going. So I don't know if we should talk about this again a little bit later, but we have there's a new broker called EdgeClear, and EdgeClear is offering group commission discounts. So if you sign up together with a bunch of people, and you together as a group, you meet a certain volume requirement, then they give you a discount on your commissions. Because really, I think that part of the reason why people want to join a prop firm is because you feel like your commissions are too high, and you want to just try and do market making, but you can't because it doesn't make money after commissions. Of course, the other side of it is the education. But so that's my thoughts on it. But I don't really know anything about working for a prop firm. I would love to do something like that, but because I can't just quit my day job. And I have a pretty good setup with my day job. Hmm. So this one is going down. I think that they're gonna try and hit this. They're gonna come and try and touch the average again.
Algo Lover says how's life? Thinking face.
How is life? I think it's going okay. You know what? We've had the kids. Well, we were supposed to have the kids for spring break, and then because of the whole lockdown thing, we kind of kept them for the week before that too. So we had them for like 6 extra days or something like that. And yesterday they left, and oh my gosh, such a difference. I'm not gonna say it's good or bad, but it's such a difference when it's just me, my wife, and the baby. So yeah, it's a lot quieter. It's a lot quieter. And work's going okay. I tell you what, man. Yesterday at work, so I'm trying to get this thing to build because the build server that I used to build on got canned, essentially. And they're still rebuilding it. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to build this thing on my own, and it doesn't build on Windows. So I'm like trying to set up a Linux virtual machine and get everything installed, and like if I'm connected to the network VPN, it doesn't like the Linux virtual machine. Oh my gosh, this is one of the most frustrating things I deal with in technology. I think is when that sort of a thing happens. Okay, so we got a spot here. I think they might turn back down. Oh, would you look at that?
Algo Lover says S if sellers maintain offer below 2,702, then 2,590 target. If 2,702 goes bid before trading lower, then anticipate squeeze higher nerd face. Algo Lover says HAGD, thumbs up.
No. How have you been? Algo, it's been a couple of weeks. Oh, look at that. Look at that. They just completely retraced that whole thing. They just got slaughtered. That's interesting. And they didn't take a lot of volume for them to do it either. Well, I'm not sure what to make of that. Toucan says FOMC day. Oh, well, there is the notes today, right? FOMC minutes.
IDK says the ES market profile looks bearish emo.
You think so? I mean, I can't really tell. It's just we're definitely higher at the moment than where most of the volume was overnight. That's for sure. So the 67 area is definitely like a support zone of some sort. Um, I'm definitely noticing some things on my flip. When they came down here, the sellers really had it. And up here, the buyers really. I need like that. Yeah. And then afterwards, then it kind of turned back into buying. You can see right there when it flipped. Interesting. Looks like Adam Linton is again breaking the internet over his views regarding tuna on pizza. Adam is long tuna on pizza, but most sensible people remain short. Tweets ran squawk. What the heck? it must be a really slow news day, guys. Well, they came back up to 70, but like, look at that. They turned back down really easily. I don't know. This bar probably, well, actually, I think that they could push it a little bit lower here. My prediction would be they're going to push it a little bit lower. They'll make it at least one tick more, like to that 66. Yeah, see. And then from there, I'm not really sure. Well, there you go. So on this one, 67. It's probably, I want one tick above that. Okay. That's a little bit more risk than I want to take. They're finding out here. No? Man. I guess they take the full thing. Take the full hit. Hold on. Okay. I wonder, is this one going to go up to above 77? There's definitely some long volume coming in. So on that last one, I did take 35. Oh boy. Okay, cool. Yippee. 3. So 6. 50 is 10. Except for that, that's on 2 contracts, so that's really like 5. So I guess I could have it like right there. No. What's going on there? Some heavy offers coming in up there. Gotta get out of this. Okay. Something's happening. Something's happening up there. It gives me less confidence on it busting out the top. I wonder what the Treasury's doing. There's a little bit of activity there, and it was like what? Ticking up? Yeah, ticked up. What about from this perspective?
InstaLife says, hey, perfect.
Perfect. Welcome. Another new name. So welcome. I'm hoping that you're saying, oh, it's somebody with a DOM up. Because there's like hardly anybody streaming that has a DOM up.
Sebastian Marquez says, good morning, Seth.
Hey, good morning. How are you, man? So this is around the time where I like to take a trade that can run. And the activity here is really, really shaky, let's say. Like we're getting it looks to me like both buyers and sellers are trying to push it their way in this area. Net, it looks like that the buyers have an advantage, and they were expanding the range there too, which doesn't matter. Fauci, beyond this week, we should see the beginning of turnaround. Hey. I'm definitely seeing like a turn down here. Like some negative pressure coming in, that is. You can see it on the offer. It's just there's some bigger orders up here they're shying away from. And when you look at the tick is negative. Okay. I went through him. What does that do to the balance? It goes pretty wild, actually. Look at him go. I think that something happened there that while a live squawk is now tweeting it to, now's the time to intensify, not pull back on virus efforts. So are they doing a news conference right now? Is that, maybe I should check YouTube here. YouTube, tell me what's happening live right now. briefing filter live. Board of Health briefing.
It's important that we take that opportunity to highlight the messages that our national public health organization.
I mean, that's it, but I don't know if that's the one. That's what they're responding to. That seems like a non-issue. Anyways, okay, a couple of good up bars here. And the last one we took was a long. That worked out pretty well. We had those 2 losses first, though. And that one I really ended up, I really didn't want to add risk on that one. It was not what we were looking for. It was definitely not what we were looking for. Okay, well, we're coming back to some volume here. I'm going to try this right here. Just see if I can get the 10. Move this stop to be a little tighter. Oh, there's some absorption on the sell side. Okay. Look at that offer. They're not. Okay. Never mind. I was like, there's only a few contracts on offer. Why aren't they buying it? And now the treasuries just did something. There was a little hole at
IDK
23.
says, what are those red and blue rectangles, Seth?
On the chart in the lower right. Okay, so that one was a little experiment that didn't work out so well. The red and the dark red and dark blue is just 5-minute candles in the background. And you might not see it very well on video, but there's an outline. Maybe I should change the color so you can see the outline a little bit better, or make it thicker. Okay.
IDK says, Okie, yes, I see it.
Hmm. No, that one's not seemed to be working either. They're bouncing on me hard. Well, Is this actually generating new? It's not. Why is the tick not running? Oh, because the tick probably doesn't run until the start of the session. Well, that would be good to know. So here it is back in our spot. Okay, fine. Don't like that when that happens. See, that's not supposed to happen. I think I need to just stop doing that and just move the order. Okay. Bars are getting kind of tight here, huh? I guess maybe trades in this area aren't very good. The thing that I find surprising about this is that um, it feels like like maybe I'm in a random area, but I'm not getting favorable ticks. Okay, one favorable tick. Ah, much better. They break a new high. Oh, it's close. This one did and this one didn't. Okay. Well, man, maybe you should have taken my profit. Hmm. Hmm. There's a little bit of a volume cluster developing here. Might be some absorption in preparation of another of a bust of the high. I mean, like we had consolidation, attempt higher, come back, consolidation a little bit higher. So it is in ascending range at the moment. Hmm. Fine. Fine. Watch them just bust up there again. Almost. I'm gonna be curious. It's gonna be curious to see what the opening volume in the ES is gonna be because, uh, I mean, the volume is getting more. It seems as we get closer to the open, but they just don't seem to be able to push price the way that they normally are at this time of day. Hmm. And there's just a little bit too much up in the 81 area. They once again seem to be shying away from it. Okay. Now they're really trying to buy it, but they're just not ready yet to bust through those offers. Like 81. Even some reloading there. Okay. Better. So now they're going to want to make that rush for the high, but it still looks a little cautious. Can you do it? There we go. There's the stop run. There it is. Sorry. I didn't do that. Forget that happened. Okay, so some absorption though. Some definite profit taking off of that stop run. And even some offers being placed on here. I want to make sure I at least get 10, so I don't know if that trade makes sense, but plus if we get below here. You know what, this dark blue is, I'm having a hard time seeing it against the black background. Let's fix that. Let's make it more of a I don't know, what do we got? Royal blue. Sure. Now, possible short. Well, actually, if that one doesn't like immediately go. Okay, cool. Yeah. It's just, I don't have complete confidence. So taking the 8 is the right thing to do there, I think.
J-Dub says the legend, the myth, the man himself, Seth.
Oh, thank you, J-Dub. How are you this morning? Man, I'm not a legend. You know who's a freaking legend? John Cleese. John Cleese, he was a legend. I am not a legend. Let me read you. I had this, where is it? I had this quote from him. Where is it?
J-Dub says I am good, bro. How are you too?
I think we're doing okay this morning. We're struggling in areas. I made a few mistakes. In execution mistakes. I don't even know where it is now. Oh well, I lost it. Was it good? Was it good?
J-Dub says, are you on a buy today?
At the moment, yes.
J-Dub says I made some cash on an oil sell this morning.
Oh, really? Yeah, they came down a little bit. They seem to be reversing up right now, though. Because there's the open. Should reset this. So they attacked that high, only barely went higher. I don't know. You're going to have to do better than that, Bulls. Yeah, you're definitely going to have to do better than that. If I get to... Okay. What a mess. Okay, higher. Got it. No, almost tempted to just buy it like right here. Wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't know if it's super wise to trade this first 5 minutes though. Okay. It's like they're at 85. There was a little cluster. Sorry, it was at 83. I don't think go below that too. All right. All right. Still a no for me. Wow. UK virus deaths jumped to 936 over the last 24 hours. It was 854 yesterday. Okay, now we can take it short. Think I didn't get the best price. Definitely not going to add more risk on though. So I'm just going to let them do their thing. Yeah, you're getting some good discovery lower. You're going to want to go for that 72. Come on, just a little bit more. Well, so far buyers are holding it short. What I mean by short is, the buyers are holding it before it gets to that kind of target. It's not getting there yet. Okay, A little bit more discovery. Just a few steps. There we go. One more. One more. Mhm. Well, it looks like that I should have taken it off bound there. That is one that I want to see run, but I don't know.
J-Dub says, do you eat breakfast before you trade lol?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Essential. I mean, how many did that one go in my favor? 20? So it was okay. It really should have been more like 80 is where I should have taken it from. So
J-Dub says, I like that you show your losses and your wins. Not many people do that stuff.
well, I mean, if you're going to do it all live, you don't really have a choice anyways, right? Okay. No. Here. Okay, they still didn't do it. Come on. Do it. Okay, that time they did it. I didn't see like a clear stop run. I suppose that they might need to get below 64.25 to really get the stops. Man. I'm not doing very good on the profit taking here. I should have taken it off at here. It certainly can run in this situation, but we're still in the mess of it all. 5 points is what the range is. Okay. I feel a little bit better about that. Cool.
J-Dub says, Dr. Fauci said we should see a decline of new cases next week.
Yeah, I saw that. And the market looked like they were kind of moving up when he was saying that too, when that was hitting the news wires. Kind of makes you wonder now. I mean, if there's anything that I'm certain about, it's uncertainty. I just, it seems to me that we don't know enough about a pandemic to really accurately predict what's going to happen, as much as we kind of pretend like we do. And so it does look like at the moment that things are going to be not as bad as they said. So now when you get a decline in cases, do
J-Dub
we
says,
open
lol,
things
we
back
don't
up?
know anything TBH.
Yeah. But when we get to the end of the month, when we get to May, can we open everything back up at that point? Because I think you're going to get a bunch of people that are going to say, no, we can't do that. We don't have, like, there are people that, like, what is it? Joe Biden's advisor guy is saying we have to keep it like that until there's a vaccine, which seems ridiculous to me. But, and just as a counterexample, Sweden hasn't locked themselves down at all. Now, I don't think that they've really gotten to the point yet where that decision will really bite them in the butt. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So after that really extended downside, they are coming back up. That last bar basically ended up being a doji. Now they're pushing higher again. Brannigan Barrett, if you're paying attention, you'll know we have those volumes in ESF over a month with VIX subdued. It's highly likely we stay firmly inside yesterday's range. 27.21 caps upside with 26.05 capping the downside. Says Brannigan Barrett. Oh, by the way, this is a good point to check our chart. Okay. Well, they're saying, the upside, 26.51, and the downside target at around 26.03. 26.05.
J-Dub says thoughts on retail giants?
I don't know. I've been looking at consumer goods, but I've been looking more at like specific producers and not sellers. Well, they had a good up bar there, and this one is coming back. I don't know what to think about that one.
J-Dub says producers explain?
Like makers of specific products that I think will do well in the future. So like one of the ones on my list that I was investigating was Crocs. They make shoes, right? People, they're gonna buy shoes, guys. Long shoes. Okay. Are they gonna do it? I don't know.
J-Dub says, oh, that makes sense, I see.
Yeah. So I'm like highly uncertain here again. It looks slightly tilted positive, to be honest. Actually, it's definitely positive at the moment. It's just, is that going to continue? I don't. No, bad spot. It looks like this is a range right here, so I might just do that. Yeah. range, and I took that smack dab middle of it. Good job, Seth. That was a mistake. And I think that was a mistake too. No. Hold on. Damn it. Okay, so those ones were off plan and were a disaster. They beat out this last little 2682. I can see some absorption and stacking and so forth, like the bulls are trying to push it. I can see slowly rising cumulative delta. Let's reset this. When the buyers come in, they push price much more easily.
Ryan says I got like Joe 12% yesterday.
Oh, really? Wow. That's amazing, dude. Did you like take one of those trades and just like hold it? Oh my gosh. I'm not doing very well at this today. This is kind of like the disaster area from yesterday, you know? Oh, what the hell was with that? Like it was long and they could not beat that area out. And when it came down, there was some real furious flow coming in. I think some people are really upset that didn't happen. Probably a couple of guys that were long in there like me, because it was like, are they reacting to my order?
Ryan says I opened short USD for like 34 pips and ends USD short for like 20 points.
Oh, okay. You did it in currencies. It's a little different.
Ryan says strong dollar.
Yeah. See, like I think we're in a range. I'm trying to take it in a bad spot, right? So you can get off sync from the market like this. I also think that because it's a range day, I probably need to be looking for different setups here.
Bot says what's with the computer voice this morning?
Oh, he has his accent set. Oh, by the way, we should test that. If you do exclamation point accent, I believe. I should change it to info.
Bot says.
Maybe I got
Daniel
it wrong.
K says. Bot says.
What was the? I forgot the correct. No, it's not that one. Oh, it's accents. I should change it to be info. That's so much easier.
Daniel K says accents.
There.
Ryan says set accent.
Daniel K SAYS、セタクセントジャパンム。
My gosh. The Japanese one
Bot
is the
says
craziest
info.
one. I changed, so it won't do info until I restart the program. Yeah, it'll just say unknown command. But it's not it's not reading out the unknown command. That was the thing that I changed yesterday, so that works. We're happy. It's good. It's good. Are you gonna go?
Daniel K SAYS Let's do it.
Ryan says can you add some more? Bot says set accent. Ryan says southern.
you have to give it one of the options. Oh my gosh, that one was so bad.
Daniel Xeis, Sjötaccent Resiam.
There you go. Like that. So there are some that are available that I haven't put in there. It's kind of like
Ryan says can you add drunk voice too?
no. They have to be Google WaveNet voices. So until Google WaveNet adds a southern accent. Oh man. Okay, right here.
Bot says do you have one with a British accent?
Yep, there's a UK F1. Or there's a UK ones. That one I got wrong. This could be we'll try it. So how badly did I screw that up? See those two? Yeah, I didn't like that.
Bot says set accent UKF.
There you go. Or if you wanted the male one, you could do UKM. So now every time you say something, it'll read it in the female voice.
Bot says lol.
It's great, right? And then I can read the chat. I don't have to. I can watch over here. This one's not really running either. Yeah. I kind of need to take a step back because I made a couple of execution mistakes. Trying to be like, oh, okay, I take this one. Oh, it didn't work. Oh, we should flip, and then hasn't been working either.
Bot says I liked Ryan's Suquinda Ballywall accent.
Yeah, the India one. That was the India M, I think. That one is so freaking funny. There's so many of them are funny, man. Okay. something interesting going on here. I'm kind of wondering if we can just short it. I'm kind of thinking maybe I could try. Like, right.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Ryan says, set accent India F.
Order cancelled.
Okay. I don't like that. I can turn that off in NinjaTrader. Options. Sounds.
Ryan says nice India FISNT even listed.
Hey John, do you know how to turn off the NinjaTrader sounds? Like the, order submitted and stuff like that?
Ryan says go to sound control in Windows.
Well, I could do it that way, but then I wouldn't hear my little
Ryan
ding.
says mute the program.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to hear my little ding. That was a good trade. That could have gone further, huh? 26.69. Oh, you know what? I was smart about it. I was being smart about it. It's cool.
Bot says to be honest mine turned itself off and I'm trying to figure out how to turn it back on.
Mine turned itself off and you've been really? Oh, that's funny. I need to find a way to change a couple of things here because
Ryan says at bots good bot we hear the Britishness.
I guess I can just not display the name.
Krzysztof Szczesny says sell now and wait till end of the session smiley face.
Okay. I do think that they're going to come down, but
Ryan says, set accent Indium.
there you go.
Bot says with a name like Bottomley you can hear the British.
Yes. That's good. I was going to use the UK female voice for the reader because I remember you guys loved when we had the Rand Squawk. You loved the British announcer guy. But then I heard the female one that we use by default, and I just thought it was so good that I couldn't pass that one up. So I don't know.
Bot says John Thomas Marchand Bottomley.
Yeah, so I did 69, so there was a little bit more in it. It's good. The way this is turning down, I think they could get a lot more out of it now.
J-Dub says, do you trade off of the news ever or just charts?
I definitely trade off of the news, but I don't like to go when the liquidity is pulled. So
Bot says I used to take some ribbing after Monty Python came out with Life of Brian.
I had this quote
Ryan
from.
says down that sell call.
Oh man, let me go find it. And here we go. It's on Twitter. I think there was more to it than that. I'm not advocating uncontrolled panicking. If you panic for more than a couple of hours, you will exhaust yourself, and you may well not have too energy to panic later when you really feel you have to. So try about 20 minutes of panicking at 11 a.m. and then another spell at 6 p.m. It's entirely up to you when you panic. Would it be better to panic before or after meditation? I imagine that panicking mindfully would be a very advanced practice, and that most practitioners should not attempt it. John Cleese. Who's dead now, by the way. So the question is, can the sellers keep this up? Like they made a probe. They made a good probe. But if we come back up above like 70, then it might just be all buying again, you know? Look at the buy there. It's all buying. It's a little bit too much, in fact. Like that much buy pressure and they're not moving up. They're not even crossing the threshold. That's a little odd. Okay, well, at this point, I think he could take it. For sure. Let's just try it right there. Let's try and let this one run a little bit. Nope. They didn't quite fill me on the upside either. So I think sellers still have control of it. They're bouncing though. I don't know if this one works out for the buyers. They've got a lot of work cut out for them because you got like 2670 here and then all the way up to 73. And you can see the sellers trying very, very hard to keep it down. I guess that one was kind of against the trend.
Ryan says this has all happened during low volume.
Yeah, well, it's kind of weird you say that because to me, watching the tape, it sure doesn't feel like low volume. I mean, it's moving a lot. I guess it is though, because normally we wouldn't be able to see a 5-minute bar. My bottom right corner, you wouldn't even be able to see a 5-minute bar, but we can see 3 of them at the moment. But I mean, there's not a whole lot of reason to trade today, especially if we're gonna get, we've got like CPI and PPI tomorrow and stuff, tomorrow and Friday. So it's definitely going to be constrained. The seller really came in on that one. He just like grabbed it by the neck and started taking it down. Uh-oh, what was that? Oh, that was my mouse. My mouse going. Options. Okay. So if I come in here and I do this sim account and cool. That fixes that.
J-Dub says Zoom is getting sued for security flaws. Lol, the irony in that right now is off the charts.
Right? Because they were doing really, really well at first, right? And I haven't really read into like what the security flaws were and everything. Like my work is still using it. I haven't had any problems with it. I'm sure that
J-Dub says yeah, they were.
Some stupid kid would, just had to come in and do something dumb. Did you see how tightly they held to that they literally just would not cross that threshold? That was interesting. So they're definitely short. It's been actually a really negative trend. Surprisingly negative. I just want to sell it so bad, but like I don't think this looks like a super incredibly great spot to do it. Well, I mean there is this 2653. Now look at this. You'll start to see buy pressure come in. It's really strong. Okay, like that's really strong buy pressure. And nada. Never slips and never really You see that? It's taking a lot of pressure to get them to flip. Well, they finally are doing it. It's really slow, though. We reached the bottom of this yet? Let's see here. I need to come back here to this chart. Oh, we're not even close. We're not even close. 2600 is where the bottom of that is. Okay. Well, it finally gave a blue. New bar. Oh, yep. Weekly oil inventory at the bottom of the hour would be an important thing to watch. So they're making some progress, but you can see they're still struggling, even with some pretty strong buying impulses coming in. See?
Ryan says, do you have leverage in the SRP?
No.
Ace Trades says just popped in to say hi.
Hey, Ace, how are you? Doing, I don't know. I've made a couple of mistakes, like execution wise. I did take one serious trade and it worked. Overall, though, some of the spots I'm looking for, it's still a little fuzzy. I don't know. There was a short at the beginning that I did catch that was kind of the short, but
Ryan says, would you ever try currencies?
well, so you can trade the currency futures. I don't think that I would have a very good edge there because one, I'm not like following all the international news and know all of the things that influence the different currencies. And there's a lot of people out there that have inside information that I don't have that they can trade on. And the order flow is not very helpful over there in the currencies either because it's a segmented market. There's a lot that's going on through interbank trades, and Forex and all that. And so what you're going to see in the currency future, is only a small part of the market.
RJ Wheel says spreads are way different than futures.
So I don't think that I would come in and try and do currencies. I just don't think that I have an edge there. So there was talking the other day and somebody was saying, look at yourself in the mirror every day and say, I'm going to be a successful trader. I'm not going to be part of that 90%. And when I saw that, my first thought was like, oh.
Ryan says, I watch no news and only use star like you are trying here, but with more lines and works pretty good.
But I was like, oh, so you're going to become a successful trader just because you said you're going to? It doesn't quite work that way, And so I think that you look at your edge, like, what is your edge? What is the thing that gives you an advantage over other traders? that will allow you to be successful where they are not. Because one could say that it's perseverance. I think I'm a pretty persistent person, but am I the most persistent
Ryan
person in
says
the
I
market?
enjoy doing this
No.
more than other people do.
Well, there you go. I think that persistence just kind of puts you in that group of people that last longer than a year, you know? But doesn't necessarily make you a profitable one, right? So what are some of the things that I do well? Well, I can program. That's a really big one. I'm program and I can adjust things to the way that makes the most sense in my mind and manipulate the software to show me what I want to see. So an execution edge in particular. I can look at the stats and collect information and analyze it more effectively than I think most retail traders are. So an analysis edge. I run this stream and I have all you guys to help me, so there's a lot of edges that I can discover. That's an edge. You know? Those are the sorts of things. Those are the sorts of things that I think, you know, can give you an edge in a market. And so when you put all those things together, which market should I be trading those edges in? Well, the places where the order flow is strong, places where having good execution is going to make a difference. And so that's what attracts me to the equity indexes and the treasuries. I really still, in the long run, I love the treasuries and I prefer the treasuries. But right now, they're just not a fertile market for me. Because you kind of got this thing where the money is coming out of the treasuries, I think. It's not flooding in like it was, and so, you know.
J-Dub says, do you like to drink?
If you mean alcohol, I don't drink alcohol.
Zaldia
Never.
says, hi, are you profitable?
Sometimes. I've had some pretty good runs. In fact, up until the volatility came in, that was the thing that drove me so crazy is I was doing so well. So when things started getting crazy, I tried to push it. Because that's what you do is when the crazy comes and that's when you can make a lot of money. But I could not increase my roll, you know? And so it just sliced and diced me. But before that happened, I was doing really, really well. I was really happy with how I was doing. So I'll come back. I've just kind of been using this market volatility to practice and kind of refine my process, my newer process on equities. And I think it's going okay. If we look at what we did
J-Dub
today,
says, what's the most you have ever made?
Ryan says I think you should try applying your strategies to other markets other than futures, more spot.
Well, okay, two questions, one at a time. The most that I think I've ever made in one trade was when I took a short shortly after the FOMC announcement and made something like $750 off of one trade. But then I ended up giving, like, I was like, oh, okay, well, now I got all this money to work with. Like, let's try and push it further. And then I gave up a lot of it. So, but like in one trade, I think the most I ever made on a live trade was like 500, 750, something like that. I could go back and find it for you. I could show you the day that it happened. But
John 25 says, I think the real question should be, what is the most you have ever lost?
I've lost 500 in a day. I think was the most that I ever did. But I've significantly curtailed my risk since then. So every once in a while, though, I'll just get in this mode where, like, I don't know. I know that I'm down, but it's like you can't stop. You know what I mean? I think that we've all done it, but I think it's a real problem for me. I think that a lot a lot of the changes that I've been making here have been to curtail that. So I think that it's going to do better. Like one of the things that I'm doing right now is that even though I'm taking a lot of trades, I'm switching the account that I'm doing them in so that I only take a few in the serious account. So then you're saying I think you should try applying your strategies to other markets other than futures. You can't. Futures is the only place where I can see this flow. If there was other markets where I could see this flow and the commissions were reasonable, then maybe I would do that. Like if I could get full order flow for stocks, maybe I would try it. But they all have issues. One of the issues is that I don't want to risk tens of thousands of dollars. I just don't. Maybe if I had built up my account to tens of thousands of dollars, but right now I just want to really minimize the amount that I trade, the amount that I risk, and just risking one micro contract is I'm really happy with that. And I'm not really, I have another source of income, so I'm not really doing it as like I'll try and get rich thing. It's get better at trading. So that's the main thing is my ability to limit my risk, and you really can't get that anywhere other than futures right now. But then the other side of it is the information and stuff. Like in stocks, man, you could see the stuff that they would calculate at Goldman Sachs about a company and how different assets, like there was all correlations. They could just look at all the different assets and they would have a correlation. They would statistically draw a correlation to how that asset correlates with that stock. And then they would know exactly if oil changed this much today, this is how much this airline should move because this is how much it affects their earnings. And that calculates it instantly. You can't do that. You can't compete with that. It's not in equities. I'm just telling you straight up, especially on NYSE stocks, you do not have an edge on a short-term time frame at all. Specialists will just tear you apart.
John 25 says I was thinking percent, not really dollar.
Yeah, percentage wise, I don't know if it's really helpful. Like I've lost like 50% maybe. But the reason why it's not really helpful is because like when you're trading a super, super tiny account, the ticks matter more than the percentage really for me. But like in the treasuries, that's like 16 ticks. It's a lot. It was a bad day. That was like, what was that day when they said that they had finally made a Brexit deal? And man, like I was like, oh, okay, it's fine. I can just flip around. And then it started going all volatile and I took like 2 or 3 and I thought I was okay. It's like, oh, it's okay. Like it'll be moving so much. We'll make that back easily. But when you added the slippage in and everything else like that, it was just a disaster. That was probably the worst one lately. But I've had lots of them. Honestly, you could probably go back. Every 2 months, there's probably a day that's bad.
Ryan says, Hagrin, yeah,
but I used $8 to make 12% yesterday.
Well, you be careful with that, Ryan, because if you're doing it like in Forex, in Forex, every once in a while you get really, really lucky. It's not even really like at some point in Forex, you're bound to catch a big runner, you can really catch these. Just, I had a friend and he would do Forex like super tiny bits. And one time he just happened to be in a trade when some really big, foreign policy announcement of sorts went, and he made tens of thousands of dollars off of a super, super tiny position, that he was just trying to catch pips. But in the long run with Forex, you lose it. Like, so if I was trading that and I caught like a crazy runner in Forex, my recommendation would be don't size up. Does that make sense? Because if you size up, you will you will lose it all back. So don't size up until you've caught like another big one or something like that. Wait, sorry, it's not doing.
Ryan says I study hard, I have a hard signal. Ryan says I identify head and shoulders. Ryan says that Ace trades all that good stuff. Ryan says yeah, when I close a trade I take a break and come back another day.
Well, and that's a good idea. I'm starting to become a believer in limiting the number of serious trades a day you take. So I think that here in the equities, I want to take 1 to 3 in my serious account, and then the rest of these will just be screwing around. So I took 1 today, and I took $10 off of that one. That's good. And I haven't really taken it. Have I taken another trade since then? Yeah, I did. I took 1 loser after that. So that buy came in the end. So remember when I was saying like they're putting really hard pressure on it, but they're not getting a lot out of it, but it was persistent, and eventually they were able to bring it back up here to the 2670 area. Which is interesting because where I took my trade, it was like at 69 and I only took 10. I only took 2 points out of it, and it went way down there. Could have made $50. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Forex. Yeah, man. Listen, I can't tell you. I can't. Here, let me put it this way. I'm gonna read something for you. Okay, this is super secret stuff. It's not super secret stuff. I'm gonna read to you a section out of the No BS day trading course. If I can find it. I think it's on my other disk drive, huh? Here it is. I love it. It's a great PDF. Must read. Where is it? Where was it? Here, I'll turn you guys back on here while we're going on it.
Ryan says I am working on building it back from what it is now $9. Ryan says I can show you my stats in Discord.
RJ Wheel says not sure you are making sense. Ace Trade says at Ryan nope. Don't care.
Ryan says lol.
So Ryan, how long of a time period though? Stats over how long of a time period?
Ryan says 2.5 years.
Okay, that's impressive. You have to show me. You should just message it. I know you've been messaging me on Discord, so just message me pictures or something, and or explain it to me. So
Ryan
another
says
question
LPM
is,
your
yeah. So another question would be, is it across multiple assets?
Ryan says you can show stream.
Oh yeah, okay, that would work.
Ryan says currency.
Ace Trade says that makes no sense. 2.5 years and you have only lost $230? Either you have only taken 4 trades or you are full of it.
Well, I'm guessing that what he's doing is he's taking super tiny risk and he's just caught some really crazy runners is what it sounds like from what he's told us so far.
Ryan says you just not understand it's micro trading to learn the markets.
Man, where did he take it out of it?
John 25 says, or is he saying overall account is down 230 after 2.5 years?
Man, I swear it was in here in his book. He was telling a story about how he had a friend that he was trading options and he got really lucky on an options trade. And
RJ Wheel says you trade 1 micro unit?
And he could have said,
Ace Trade says it. Ryan, yes, I don't understand how one can support themselves making $1 a month.
And he was saying that this guy, he trade options. He got really lucky, and so then he was trading even bigger, and he got it up like a lot, like it was millions of dollars. And then he said, he could have said, okay, I got lucky, and just stopped right there, and gone back to scalping, and he wouldn't have, he could have just done what he was good at, and he would have been set for life. But he didn't. He kept trading the options and getting greedy, and he lost it all. And it's the same thing. Like, you just got to remember those strategies. Like, especially if you're getting something that's like, oh man, we got to draw a picture. I want to do it this way instead. I want to explain it this way because we haven't drawn this in a while. So this is going to be average win. And this is going to be win percentage. Okay. So you're going to have these things that have a really high win percentage and a really small average win. Okay. We call these scalps. Scalp market making. Okay. Then you have these ones that you don't win very often, but when you do win, you win crazy, right? So this is like a YOLO or like a Black Swan. Okay. Now there's ones where your win percentage is really high and your average win is really high. I mean, these are called fairy tales. Fairy tales and or Goldman Sachs. Okay. And then there's kind of this area right here where maybe let's say that this is like 30% right here. 70. Okay, there's kind of this area in here where we live. Okay. And your average win, how much you make compared to your average loss, you need to be somewhere in here to make money. Okay. So this is where you want to be as a retail trader. Okay. This is where you want to be as a retail trader. Now, something that I see very often is you'll see guys that are here. Now you can be here. Like this is Gary. Gary Norton right here. Gary is actually right here. 70% win rate, 50-50 win loss. Okay. But there are some people that, they'll take more risk than their average win, and they have a really crazy win rate. And what happens with this strategy? What's the issue with this strategy? Is it'll work really well, and you'll make winner after winner after winner, and then all of a sudden, one day, the recession comes and you just get destroyed, right? This is like, I just always buy YOLO calls, and it always works. And then finally one day it all just comes crashing down, right? And then these ones are like the guys that you see on Wall Street Bets, right? So what's the issue with this guy? The issue with this guy is he's going to get a winner, and it's going to really run, and he makes a ton of money off of it. So then he takes that back and he increases his size, and he does it again. And he does it again and again and again. And sometimes those people can make it like really, really high because you can get a streak. But then eventually you get a streak, and then eventually you kind of do that. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this sort of thing where it's like, whoop, good dish, and they lose it all. Happens all the time. It's a really common trap to fall into as a trader, because what happens is when you get here, you think, I know it all. I can't spell. And then the market will say, no, you don't. So that's where you got to be careful with that kind of a strategy. So now that we've said that, let's look at it. I mean, Farva's been around for a while too, so I wouldn't necessarily always own. You're trading with Onada. Clear. Can I zoom out maybe? Win rate 60%. Oh, okay. Winning trades, losing trades. Wow, you got a really good win to loss. But look, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, let's actually do the math on it. Okay, let's be exact. Use black here. Okay, 829 plus 516. 1345. 1345 is 61%. So this is 61% win rate. Okay. But your average winner to loser is what? 0.68 divided by 1.34. 0.5. So you've got a 0.5 profit factor. So this is the sort of thing that I'm talking about. You're losing more on your losers than you're winning on your winners. That's why you have such a high win rate. If you're going to do that, not that it can't work, but statistically, and it depends on what your commissions are. So you can go and calculate it. You can go and you can say, okay, win percentage times the winner's average winner minus the losing percentage times your average loser minus the wins plus the losses times your commissions. Like that. And then you could solve for L, so like the win percentage, right? This one is going to be 1 and this one is going to be 2 or whatever it is. and then you could solve for W and L, or you could represent L in terms of W and solve that equation, which I'm too lazy to do, but we've done before. And then you would know. But usually, and the treasuries, when I've done this, you got to get 70%. If you're going to risk double what you're making on your winner, you got to get 70%. Make sense? So, and then what's this other picture you got? So there's one picture. This one's different. Okay. So this one is very different. Wow. Okay. So that one's really good. This is absolutely astounding. In fact, because you're getting, man. Well, I closed it already. Let's bring that back. 4.83 divided by 0.28, 16. You got a profit factor of 16. And your win rate is like 13 out of 15. That one's 85%. Okay. So 85%. So that's great. And this is the one where I would say it's too good. And the issue with this one really comes down to this right here. Not a large enough sample size. So I would never draw any kind of a conclusion about something until you get to like 20 to 40 trades. Once you got 40 trades, like that might be enough to like trade it live. So I would like to see that sort of a thing like over a year before I would conclusively say to people, hey, it looks like that strategy works. You know what I mean? There's plenty. It says that's plenty of trades in 1 month. Yeah, it is, but it's not a big enough sample size to say that there's a long-term edge in it. Like you might have just gotten really lucky that 1 month or something like that. You know what I mean? So I'd be cautious about it. I would take that and I would say that's a good start. We want to see those numbers hold up over the long term. It's unlikely that they will. They'll probably come down to more reasonable levels because, like, man, if you are winning like 60% of the time and you had a 4-to-1, win to loss ratio, then that would be amazing. You're doing like 80 and 16. That's like, nah. It's probably not gonna stay that as good. Okay. So keep trading it. Collect more stats. That's what I'd say. Okay, so I'm gonna turn you guys back on. So I don't want to get the whole like back and forth. If that's okay with you guys.
Ryan says don't put me down.
Oh man.
Ryan says I am here to fucking help people.
Okay, well, so Ryan, here's what you should do if you want to help people, is keep trading it, and if when you can show me using
Ace
that
Trade
particular
says
trade
Ryan,
for a
be
year,
strong. Don't let anyone bully you around.
That get stats of that for a whole
Twinbag
year.
says Seth, instead of prattling on and trying to poke holes in this, why don't you ask him what his strategy is?
Why don't I ask him what his strategy is? Okay, so good question actually. So, because one, if he wants to give me the strategy, he will. I've been talking to him. So, if he wants to give me the strategy, he will. And I don't have to I don't want to ask or beg or, it's, your strategy can be a really personal thing. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily want to just come in here and you don't always want to give up your edge to everybody. You know what I mean? But number two, he's doing it in Forex, and there's no way that I'm going to trade Forex. So I would have to also be able to look at what the specifics of his strategy is and probably code it up myself and test it on the instruments that I trade to see if it works over here in futures or something like that. Because I'm just not going to trade Forex. You know what I mean? So that's all.
Ace Trades says come for the prattles, stay for the bell ring.
Ryan says I like Sate.
Well, listen, I mean, the thing is probably the stuff that I'm talking about.
Ace Trades says Forex, the Howie Mandel of trading.
There you go. Like if those were things that you hadn't heard before and you think that it's just rattling, then I stop trading. Like straight up.
John 25 says Seth thumbs up, thumbs up.
So like straight up, that is in stuff that you literally, if you cannot do that, you shouldn't be trading. Okay, but I doubt that's any of you, right? I'm betting that you've all heard that before and that you totally know what I'm talking about. Which is good. But there's some people that are new, that coming in, they haven't heard that before and need to hear it. And this is like a really great example to talk about it. So yeah, fair.
Ryan says I like opening trades and going to sleep and waking up to winners.
Oh, there you go. Well, hey man, if it works. I don't know. Another thing that I would need to see on those stats, by the way, Ryan, is like it shows me your average P&L.
John 25 says lol.
Oh, actually, maybe it does show me here. 3 best and 3 worst trades are pretty equal. Yeah, it doesn't tell me, but like with those stats that you have, you could have one winner that accounts for almost all of the profits, and that would give you a really deceptive stat, right? You know, it's just like a distribution like this, where here's how much. Now we gotta minimize this again. Here's how much you make. Okay, and here's the count, the number of times that it happened, and you get something like this, and this is 0, and maybe you have
Ryan
all of
says
these
it's big losers.
and
Ryan
then
says lol.
there's
Ryan
one
says it's
winner.
the other way around.
You know, there's one winner that accounts for like literally all of your profits. You know what I mean? Like that can happen. So that, especially with only 20 trades, that's why it's like usually in order for me to like conclusively say to somebody, yeah, that strategy looks profitable, I would need to see at least a year before I would put my like, you know, before I would come in on stream and say it works. Like with Ace's thing, because Ace's he's literally been coming in here for a year, and I've looked at it overall, and I know that over a very long time period that it works. It's a very small edge. It's not huge. And that's the bigger thing that you got to understand, and the sort of a thing that like I kind of feel like I'm defending myself against sometimes, but I really think
a small edge.
I really think that it's an important thing. The thing that kills most futures traders is you're asking for too much. You want to come in and you want to win 80% of the time and make twice as much as you lose and just come out profitable every day, and it just doesn't work like that. Or you want it to be like you have all of these things, but then your expectation is that I'm going to make $1 million once I get it figured out. And it's not like that. This is going to be something that like, hey, look, make 2 points a day. Good. You size that up and you can make a living off of it. And then be happy with it. You know? But we never do that. We are always pushing for more, and that's where we screw it up. That's where we screw it up. And so I don't like to come in. I actively avoid the like, oh, I made X $1,000. Because number one, I don't want to attract money chasers. Number one. Number two, I don't want to give the false impression. Like if I come in and that's how I start things out is, you could make $1,000 in a day. It's so great. I mean, sure, I'll use clickbait. Sure. Okay. And I've shown you ones where like I made so many ticks and that's great. Okay. But I don't put the dollar amount on it because I don't want to set people off on that wrong foot. You know, I want people to start with the expectation that this is going to be hard, that the reward is going to be small, and that you should only be doing it if you really enjoy it. Like, here's a question I would ask myself. Would I still do it if money wasn't involved? I would. Anyways. Oh, it looks like our text-to-speech robot just end. If you look hard, Seth always draws boobs. Oh, man. I like that. I see it right here. It received the error one time, and then it stopped the interval. That's what we want. When I first made the bot, I was like, well, this is great. That's it. I'm done. I just put this up and I'm done. But like, we keep making it better. And I'm so impressed. Hey, look at that. They're going. Not quite over the high. I missed a lot of long end on there, but most of that long and even into now has been really sketchy. Technical question on OBS. Is it not possible to record any one of my 6 monitors? For some reason, the program only recognizes 3 of them. Oh, that's interesting. Let me show them. Somebody was asking me about OBS Advanced here. Interesting. Maybe not. I want to figure out how to fix this for him now. Probably can do that afterwards. It's not huge. That's what she said. You can feed a family in 2 points a day. It sounds like it. Well, I made 2 points today, Ace. I did it. I took it in a serious account and I made 2 points, and then I was like, that's it. We're good. I'm done. That reminds me, I need to get the Lambo storage. Oh man. I can't imagine having a car like that. Like, well, you know what? If I had a car like that, I would drive it everywhere, and it would probably get trashed and stolen within a month. That's what would really happen. And by Lambo, I mean my little red station wagon. There you go. You know what's so funny? So here's a dumb story for you, Ace. When I got divorced, we were pretty much agreed on what belonged to who. So like I got to which was an amazing deal. And she really should have forced us to sell it, but it was like I got the money to pay for the down payment to get the money in there, and we didn't want to sell it at the time. And so I got to stay and live in the townhouse, and she got the car because that's what she needed. So it all worked out. Okay, but that meant I had to get a new car. I'm really grateful that my divorce was there was no hitches, there was no like mean stuff like most people got. It was I got a really good deal, and she was very fair to me. Um, anyways, so I had to get a new car. So I'm thinking, well, I need to get a car that will impress the ladies, right? But I don't want to get like a Mustang or, something dumb like that, because I really don't think that a sports car really impresses your average Utah girl. You know what I mean? They're just not into that sort of a thing. So I was like, I should get a reliable car that's comfortable, and is comfortable to drive in, is a little bit luxurious, and has a good sound system, because I like to listen to the sound. So I eventually decided on an Acura, right? It's the luxury Honda, essentially. So I got an Acura, what do they call it? TL, an Acura TL. And I still have it. And I've had some issues with it recently, but we fixed all those, and it's been running great. And I've almost got it all paid off. And I hope that it continues to run for several years, because I really like the car. It's comfortable, and the sound system is amazing. It's so good. Okay. So I bought this car. I would call it my pussy wagon, because that's where I would go to cry. And the sound system rocks. Yeah. And it really was like at the beginning, especially when I was like first meeting new people and stuff, because I had a little bit of, how do I put it? Like real issues dealing with my attachment after being divorced. Okay. And yeah, I would just go in there, like that's where I would like isolate myself to cry it out a little bit. But I really liked that car. Enter my wife, my current wife. And she doesn't know what an Acura is. She thinks that it's a crappy car. I'm like, it's a luxury Honda. It's the luxury brand of Honda, Melissa. Honey? Her name is Melissa. What? It's the luxury brand of Honda, Melissa. What? It's a great car. It's a really good car. It's like if you bought it brand new, it's like $30,000-$40,000. It's a good car. And she thought the whole time that we were dating that it was a piece of junk. So the whole reason that I bought the car, to have a luxury car to impress women with, the woman that I ended up being with thought that it was a bad thing. Can you believe that? So funny how things like that turn out. It was like everything that I thought was important or that was going to be important ended up not being important at all in the end. Look kind of funny. Well, they made it. They're 2680. They're falling back a little bit. So I got a question for you, Ace. Would you have taken any of that long? From if you're still there, you might have already had to leave, but if you're still there, did you take any of that long, starting from like 2660? I'm guessing that you had already made your money, because I can see along it there, but it's kind of like counter to a lot of things. It's counter to a lot of things. I tell you what, the E-Mini looks incredibly constrained today. Looks incredibly constrained. Let's look at this. Oh, that's funny. He's showing me a couple more stats here. I'm not going to share it all with you. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. I'm wondering if that would help me because I'm having a little bit of an issue with some of my signals in that like I have a lot of things that say it could go long, but they're very much like every time it happens it could be long, and when it is long it's really really good, but it's not. You don't want to take it every time. And sometimes I'm waiting for everything to just kind of like come together and correlate. You know what I mean? You said you drove an Acura and your wife had an F-150. I didn't say anything about her car. Her car is a van. She's got an old van. We really need to replace that van. The dollar just moved 30 pips per hour. Really? I can see the 60 move. I don't see anything. Boris Johnson said to be responding to treatment. Coronavirus to cause deep U.S. contraction. And Donald Trump. Once we open up our great country, then it will be sooner rather than later. The horror of the invisible enemy, except for those that sadly lost a family or a friend, must be quickly forgotten. Our economy will boom, perhaps like never before. Yes. Okay. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. So I'm wondering if maybe this sort of a thing might help me identify false positives. I'm kind of looking for things that identify false positives, and his is based on DMI. That's maybe one thing, is it could show me that there's not enough trend for it to be worth taking. Anyways, I kind of lost the, oh, hey, look, new high of the day. Well, what do you know? Well, what do you know? Yeah, John was I was just showing him an example of where our TFC wasn't really helpful. And he was saying, well, this rock volatility one, that did a pretty good job of showing us when you could take it. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, but we can't pick and choose the filter. But I don't necessarily use the TFC as a hard filter. I use that as more of a like, if I'm against what my time frame continuity is, I'm looking for a shorter profit is what I'm doing. Anyways, I don't know if he's still listening, if he heard that part, but I could have taken that. I need to look back into this whole thing about it needs to close above or below my line. I think that would be a much more effective way of testing it. especially when at around 8:11, which was when I really started ranting. No, actually, it's not. It was after I took my trade. If I had waited and maybe taken that long, maybe I could have gotten a really good long and gotten 10 points or something. But I wasn't saying pick and choose. I was just pointing out that it does a good job flagging where price crossed the hour open. Yeah, no, I totally understand. I know that that's what you weren't trying to say, but I just felt like it was like, well, okay, so here's a trade that based on the current system that I'm using can't take. That would have been a good trade, right? That's all I was trying to say. I don't know if I really want to incorporate rock volatility on it, you know? It's kind of hard. And I didn't really incorporate the close below or above the line thing today, but I took a lot of trades that I don't know if they really all made sense. Like a lot of this in here was like just trying to flip and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. When I look back at the chart, I can see that in that first bit of action, especially first 30 minutes, that it really was not giving me very good of a read at all. Like there wasn't enough trend had not developed yet. So that's where he's saying like DMI, for instance, might be a good filter there to I took mine off all of my charts, yeah. Well, I think we've got a lot of good things going here. It's just we're trying to refine it now, I think, you know? Find out the things that work really well and the things that don't work out as well, and focus the system down on the things that really matter so that it's easier to execute on. And I'm definitely not there. But I did know the one where I could have taken it, so I don't know. Anyways, yeah, bot says agreed. I better want to get going. I'm going to take a look at we have a little indicator on TradingView that tries to use the volatility index to predict how far you're going to go. I'm going to take another look at that today. I kind of want to adjust it to see if, like, as it adjusts during the day, you know, that's the way that I think I'm going to do next. And then if that one works, then what will happen is that when you get into the extended session, just what it was at the end of the day will continue through. So yeah, I want to do that. And I'm going to investigate because John was saying that he can't see all 6 of his monitors in OBS. I really want to, that's really interesting. I really want to look at that. So anyways, but I got some other stuff. I'm liking, it's got to figure out this stupid VM thing. Also, I liked the changes that I made over here. I made them to this chart down here, but you can really see it in this power meter. Seems to be useful, especially this right here, this far right one. So that's something that I want to pay attention to in the future. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable.